Greetings to civil society organizations in Japan. In preparation for the United Nations Third World Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction, which will happen in Sendai in March 2015, in fact only a short period from now, I'd like to tell you a bit about why this is so important. Every day disasters happen in Japan and in the world, and these are costing more and more valuable assets for communities. It's costing life, and above all, it's costing people's longer-term life perspective from a development perspective. So when the UN comes together, and this is a United Nations Intergovernmental Conference, governments, with the support of civil society, science, business, and many others, will decide on an updated and new strategy for how to manage risk in the coming decades, particularly important given how disasters are evolving. Now, for the civil society, it is of course very important that you come to the meeting, but also that you engage in the preparation, in above all to give input for content, to share what your perspectives on society, because the purpose of the new framework is that we will come out with a result that is an all-of-society approach to managing risk, which requires the engagement of communities, of civil society organizations, just as much as all the other parts of society. But this really requires also engagement in the preparatory process, and it does require a commitment to support the follow-up and implementation of the conference outcome. So the engagement of civil society is critical. The conference, because it takes place in 2015, is also an opportunity to influence the outcome of the discussions on the new development vision of the world, the Sustainable Development Goals. And I'd like to suggest very strongly that all of you engaged in seeing how much these disaster risk reduction and development are closely interlinked and not see them as separate issues, but as one issue. And finally, do the same thing with the climate adaptation work. Personally, I see that disaster risk reduction and climate adaptation are absolutely crucial in order to achieve the development goals. So we, as civil society and as disaster risk reduction community together, I think we have a strong obligation to get this message through in all the events of next year, 2015. And the World Conference for Disaster Risk Reduction is the first conference in March, and that will help us to formulate our messages to the other conferences. So with some hard work and creativity, we may very well come out of 2015 with all the pieces together for a much more sustainable world. I look forward to see you in Sendai.